Okay. Hey to anybody who's watching this. I usually don't do this type of videos, but something just told me to make a video on this one. It's very different than the usual type of video I do. This was a recent work experience that I had. Let me preface this by saying, all y'all who may see this, treat your essential workers with some respect, please. So what happened was I recently went on leave of absence from work, right? To get away from all the virus stuff. My leave technically wasn't supposed to end until May 1st, but I went through all my saved and emergency money, so I had to go back early because I still got to eat, still got a car note to pay, car insurance, all that type of stuff, adulting, fun. Um, what happened was, so I work at Walmart as an I work in the online grocery pickup department, right? So I had this one customer who just was so rude and nasty about the whole situation. Um, and it's not like I've never been cursed out at work before because I work with people. That's bound to happen at some point in time. But this guy was just so rude about it, and I was just, doing my job, trying to be professional about the situation or whatever. What happened was he was missing his Miracle Grow from his order. Now he hadn't been charged for it. Anybody who's ever done online grocery pickup, um, you know that sometimes you'll just have things that are unavailable for your order. It happens. Um, it's everything you want isn't always there. So I go out to him to greet him or whatever. Um, ask him how he's doing, and he immediately goes into his rant about how um, his Miracle Grow wasn't in his order. We're gonna call him. What can we call him? We're gonna call him Albert. He looked like an Albert. Um, wasn't his name, but he looked like an Albert. So Albert's going into um, about how his Miracle Grow wasn't in his order. Um, that's my cat trying to get into my room. Um, and how, it's because somebody in our department just was too blanking lazy to go walk to that section of the store to get it. And it's a bunch of um, bull expletive that no that it wasn't in his order. And I'm trying to explain to him, sometimes that happens, that you don't have things in your order, trying to reassure him that he hasn't been charged for it or anything like that. It just didn't appear in his order. So, as I'm trying to, explain the situation and de-escalate it, he's going on about his Miracle Grow, um, and how, you know, that he knows that we didn't get a new pallet of Miracle Grow in today. He knows that there was one already in the store. My assumption was that it just wasn't put out on the floor yet, because sometimes when we pick items off the shelves, certain items won't be stocked at that time because that stocking team hasn't come to work yet to stock those items. So it's all, um, for lack of a better phrase, a luck of the draw. Um, So I'm trying to explain that to him, and he's just interrupting me, talking about it's a bunch of BS. It's just that someone was too effing lazy to go and pick his Miracle Grow, so now he has to get out of his got blank car to go in the store um, to go get his Miracle Grow. What really happened was, because soil, go figure, is a non-essential item, that part of the store was closed off, because the only reason that grocery stores are still open is because we're essential for the purpose that people have to eat. Um, And I just don't understand why he felt the need to be so disrespectful and nasty about the situation. I mean, and I'm good at my job. I know a lot of people say that, but I do know that I'm good at my job, and I don't say that in a bragatory way. I say that because I'm efficient at it. But even if I wasn't, even if I handled everything awry, what gives you the right to treat me as another human being the way that you did? Is how I felt. Like, I just felt so disrespected and devalued. And some people may say I'm making too much of it, which maybe I am. Who knows? Um, but it's like we're all dealing with this virus right now. So I know tensions and frustrations are high because of that. But essential workers feel it more than anybody. Those same concerns that everyone else has, we have times 10. We have the concern of, is this the customer or is this the patient who's going to give me the virus? I'm going to bring it into my home, give it to someone I love, give it to someone who could die for it. It's a scary feeling because I know people who have caught the virus. I know people who have died from this virus in my own town. So it's a scary feeling to know that it's so close to home and we're just trying to do our job, stay safe, and basically keep society functioning there. And it's not like I wouldn't be able to justify it, but I'd be able to somewhat rationalize it if it was something that you pay extra for. Online grocery pickup is free. You don't pay anything extra. You're not even allowed to tip us. So it's like there's nothing that you really missed out on besides the minor inconvenience that your soil for whatever you were planning wasn't in your order because it's a non-essential item. So that section of the store is closed. Um, I could understand if there was an extra fee you had to pay to secure a spot for online grocery, or if you were expected to tip us, that type of thing. Um, but it's a perfectly free service, and it moves a lot quicker than you, and it's a lot safer than you having to go into the store to pick up your own goods. So it's like we will. My online grocery team, I can't speak for any other one at any other Walmart because this is the only one I've worked for. But we'll typically do between 200 and 240 orders in a day. So let's just say that I take out 30 of those orders to different cars. In every car, there's usually at least two people. So that's 60 people that I've had to come in contact with just bringing out an order, not going to the floor and picking things for your order. Um, there's too many people there to count. So let's just say, bare minimum, I come into outside of the team that I work with, I come into contact with 100 people at work. You've only had to come into contact with one person who who brought out to you within 2 minutes what may have taken you 45 minutes to an hour in the store to get. No additional cost to you. And sometimes you even get a goodie bag. So it's like the attitude is just completely unnecessary. And I get that this pandemic is affecting us all in different ways. But again, essential workers are not immune to this. If anything, we're more likely to get it because we're still at work in a very public environment. Um, just be- a mask is not a shield of armor. You can still get it wearing a mask. You're less likely to, but again, it's not a shield of armor. So it's like we're I'm 19 years old, just out of high school. Last year. In a few weeks, it'll be a year since I graduated high school. Like, these are supposed to be my young, fun, free years, enjoying my youth, living my best life, that type of thing. Not on the front lines of a global pandemic, handling rude, disrespectful customers like Albert. Um, so Albert, if you ever see this, I hope you going forward treat people better than you have in the past, because um, it's gonna get you got one day. Um, and I don't say that in a threatening way. Um, just somebody's gonna pop off at the way you behave. I don't know. I always see this post on social media that says older people think it's disrespectful when you don't allow them to disrespect you. And Albert he looked like he was a baby boomer. So I don't know if it was because I was younger or what, but it's like there's there's no reason for you to, if you're being serviced, there's no reason to ever treat your server in a disrespectful way. Um and I feel like I handled it pretty well. I'm growing as a person. A year ago, I'd have probably popped off and lost my job. Um cuz I can push buttons like nobody's business. Um I have older siblings, so that was my line of defense when I was younger, being able to push buttons. I used to say that I have an amazing talent to be able to take a string of sentences and form them into spears and aim directly for your heart to with the intent to do irreparable damage. Um, and I've gotten good at it. Of course, I've had to step back from that because that's not um, nice or kind or a good way to live your life. Um, but it's like you're gonna say something to the wrong person one day who's really gonna hurt your feelings or just hurt you. And it's never okay to just be rude, um, simply because you may have issues going on in your life, or we're all dealing with something, and you never know what the person you're being rude to is dealing with. They may have um, things going on that'll shock you and be like, well, man, my problems just seem like a walk in the park. So you never know how you treat someone affects you. And this was my first day back to work from a leave of absence that I really didn't want to come back from, but I had to because I went through my emergency money and my saved money on necessities. So, um, but yeah, y'all just treat your essential workers with some respect, because we're just as scared as a lot of y'all are, if not even more so. Doctors, nurses, garbage men, postal workers, cashiers, just all of us who are still working to keep society functioning while you don't have to. I mean, it's a scary thing for us. And truth be told, I really do envy a lot of people who aren't essential workers because they don't have to work right now and they can stay home and be safe from a lot of this. So just be mindful of how, not just essential workers, but people in general. Be mindful how you treat them. Because this was a couple days ago, and it really still bothers me. Um, I just told them to have a good day or whatever. But it's like the whole situation just, it was uncalled for and unnecessary all over a couple of bags of soil. So be mindful of how you treat people. You never know how it affects them.